Hey guys, it's Savannah and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is by far some of my favorite Dollar Tree DIYs that I've ever done. It is also a collaboration with two other channels, but before I talk about that, let's get into our first craft. All right, for our first DIY, you're gonna need a spindle of some sort. You can find these at thrift stores. Habitat for Humanity has a lot. And then a Dollar Tree sign. This is one of their spring signs, but honestly, any of their long signs will work, or whatever kind of sign you wanna use. So I was kind of just looking at it, laying it out next to the spindle and seeing where I wanted to cut it. And then I cut that, and then I am going to cut this spindle down. Now, shout out to Megan from the Crafty Quinn, because she gave me like 4 spindles and I was so excited to use them. And this is my first project with this spindle. So I'm taking a screw and I am going to screw it in the bottom of this little wood round. Now, these are from Hobby Lobby, but sometimes you can find these at Dollar Tree. I would just assume buy them at Hobby Lobby, because I think you can get like a pack of 4 for $5 and then let's say 50% off versus buying each individual one from Dollar Tree. So I screwed that into the bottom of the little wood round and then into the spindle. And then I'm kind of just measuring out the middle, because I'm going to drill this sign onto the spindle, like with some screws, not drill it. That didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. Now, you guys, I like to think I'm a pretty humble person. I do love all the DIYs that I do, but you guys, these DIYs in this video are probably some of my favorite that I've ever done on my channel. So I cannot wait to show you guys. So then I'm taking this kind of like antique, I don't even know what you would call this, but this is from Hobby Lobby. It was like $2, and I want to put this at the bottom of this little sign. And at first I kind of played with the position, but I did want to cover up that screw at the bottom, and I didn't really care if it was raised just a little bit. Then we're just going to go in with some plain white Waverly chalk paint. I finally got to say that. Every time I use the color ivory, I always want to say white, but it's not white, it's ivory. So I finally get to say white Waverly chalk paint. And I'm just covering this whole sign. I didn't have to worry about the spindle. I thought I was going to have to paint that as well, but the white really did just blend in with that. And I kind of liked how it looked old anyway, the spindle, like some of the wood was showing through. So I really didn't have to mess with that. Now I'm just making sure I get like in the nooks and crannies of that little thing, the little decorative piece, but I didn't mind if like some of that wood still showed through. I liked that. And then I also paint the back of this. You guys know sometimes I don't worry about the back, especially if it's hanging on a wall and you're not going to see it. But this is going to be freestanding, so I wanted to make sure that the back was covered as well. So I do give that a good coat of the Waverly chalk paint as well. Then I just paint this little wood round as well, because I want this all to be like white and all blend in together. I'm sure you guys, I mean, that's pretty obvious, but you can see I painted the back as well. And I love that little decorative piece. I feel like it adds so much character to this piece, and I'm definitely gonna have to go get some more of those. Then we're going to take some of our antique Waverly wax and our chip brush, and we are going to distress this. Now, a lot of you guys ask where I get my chip brushes from. Actually, a subscriber, Rochelle, she sends them to me. Shout out, girl. But I get them from plaid.com, but I believe that they are sold out, or I'm not sure if they're carrying them anymore, which is super sad because I love these. But if you guys follow Melissa from All Things Crafty, she's one of my good friends on here. In her Amazon store, she has a link to a small chip brush. I think it's by Folk Art, and she swears by it. She loves it. She says it's the closest thing to one of these. So you guys can go check that out, or just go on Amazon and type in mini chip brush and just try it out. I mean, you never know. So I then am going down to the wood round and just distressing, trying to pull out some more dimension, especially where those like edges are. I really want that to pop out and, you know, just add a little bit more, I don't know, contrast to this project. And then we are going to start distressing the face. Now, I really don't have a technique for distressing. I just, go on the sides, and sometimes I will go in the middle, but I don't go in the middle for this project just because you'll see why in a second. So I just focus on the edges and then that decorative piece, just getting it to a rustic farmhouse look and get it how I like it, you know? Then I just printed this out on my Cricut. It's an N, and then it says Nicholas Family Established 2017. And if you didn't know, Nicholas is my last name. So I was gonna try to do them all at once, but it was too long and it wasn't fitting. So I did have to separate all of them and then lay them down. Someone asked me if you can use your phone when you're working with your Cricut. And the answer is yes, that's all I use. I use my phone for everything on my Cricut. Then I'm just gonna start laying this vinyl down, just playing with like the space and how I want it to all lay. I do the big N at the top and then Nicholas and then family. I just chose different fonts. I just go through and find it until I pick a font that I like. And I think actually every one of these is a different font. So I don't know. So I'm just laying all this out and getting it how I like it, and then removing the transfer tape. And then again, if you are new here, I like to sand over my vinyl, especially if I'm making a rustic piece. So I do that just to kind of tone down that black. Then I'm taking one of these little knobs from Hobby Lobby. I used this in a couple videos ago on my apothecary cabinet, and these are fairly cheap. I mean, they're not expensive at all, and I love them. So I did want to, okay, anyways, I like completely missed that point. So I hot glued that to the top and then painted it and distressed it. And then I felt like it was still missing something after I added that. So I was going to add this greenery. I left this in here just to give you guys another idea. I just took some greenery and I put it all together and made a cute little swag. And then I added a button, but after I didn't really like it. I kind of liked it just plain, but I did want to leave it in so you guys could see what it looked like, and it's your choice on what you guys want to do. I love this project, so let me know what you guys think. Today's video is a collaboration with The Distressed Princess and Simple Roots, Simple Living. I absolutely love these girls. Their channels are amazing. They do a lot of Dollar Tree, DIYs, Farmhouse, thrift flips, you name it. They are so talented at what they do. So in my description box, there is going to be a link to their channels. And after you're done watching my video, of course, be sure to go check them out and tell them that Savannah sent you. And if you are coming over from their channels, welcome. And I'm so happy that you are here. All right, moving on to my favorite from today. The first one was my second favorite, but this is my absolute favorite from the day. I have 4 of these Dollar Tree house picture frames, and I start by removing the backs, the glass, everything, and then taking those little prongs and just kind of bending them flat. Now, you could pull those off if you want, but honestly, it didn't bother me and I didn't really mind. So I did this to all 4 frames, and then we are going to paint our backs. And then for this project, we are going to use the color Ivory in Waverly chalk paint, and we are going to paint all the backs. Now, the reason I did this before we start this DIY, I don't want to give it away what I'm doing, but it's going to be kind of hard to reach. So that's why I did the backs first, and I'm just making sure to give them a good coat. Again, these are really, you know, it's a nice color wood, so I didn't mind if some of that showed through, but for the most part, I did want to cover all of these picture frames. Just the backs for right now. Now we're going to start assembling it. So we are going to be kind of making a house lantern kind of thing. I don't know. So I started by taking some hot glue and just holding the sides together. And at first, this was like super flimsy. So I do reinforce it, and at the end, it's pretty sturdy, but I was getting kind of worried there for a minute. So I don't know if you maybe want to use hot glue and super glue or E6000, whatever you prefer. But it did end up being sturdy, so it was just getting to that point that was kind of hard. So I'm just hot gluing the corners of the houses together and holding them until they're stuck and making sure that they're not going to go anywhere. Like 7 times. I had to use hot glue like 7 times. Next, I'm taking these little half beads. I got these from Amazon. I only got 2 sizes. I wish I would have got some smaller ones, but these ended up working. So I'm just taking these and I'm gonna hot glue these in the corner. Now, this is where it kind of starts reinforcing it because these beads, half beads, are gonna hold the frames together, add some extra support, and then we will add some more support at the bottom. But I'm just going in and hot gluing these all the way down the side, and I love, you guys, I know I said this at the beginning, but you know how you just do that one project and it's like, oh my gosh, I love this. Like, I cannot believe I made this. It looks like something you would buy at Kirkland's. That's how I feel about this project, and I don't want to sound like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm just super proud of it. So you guys got to let me know what you think down below. So this is what it will look like when you have the first corner done. And then I'm just going to repeat that step on all 4 corners and just gluing them all the way down until, you know, it's done. Then this is where we're going to add a little bit more reinforcement. I'm just taking some regular size craft sticks and putting some hot glue on there and laying them kind of along the bottom, making sure that I'm sticking it on one frame and taking it to another. That way it's kind of holding them tight. And then I do this all the way around the bottom of the square. Now we're going to go in and finish painting this. Now, if I could start over and do it again, I probably would have painted all of the picture frames first, just because it was kind of hard to get in the crannies, nooks and crannies where those little beads are. But I mean, it ends up looking great. You can't see it, but I want you guys to learn from my mistakes. I would probably paint all of the frames first and then add the beads and then paint the beads. So I am just taking some Ivory Waverly chalk paint and I'm covering this whole thing as good as I can get it, as much as I can get in between those beads and stuff, and making sure that it is one even coat. Then we're going to go in with our chip brush and some antique Waverly wax, and we are going to distress this sign. Now, I focused mostly on the outside, the corners. We're going to go in where the beads are. Now, you can see at the bottom those, like the square where we laid the popsicle sticks. I didn't paint that. That didn't bother me because I'm going to style this with some greenery and you're not going to be able to see that. But if that bothers you, go ahead and paint it, girlfriend or boyfriend, guys craft too. And so yeah, I'm just going around this whole thing and just stressing it. Again, I do go on the inside of the corners so that it all looks cohesive and store-bought. And again, I know I've said this, but I am so proud of this project. Let me know if you guys are going to try to recreate it. Have you found these picture frames? Have you made anything with these picture frames? And yeah, so let me know what you guys think. If you're new to my channel or you were coming over from the other girls' channels, welcome. I'm Savannah and I love doing Dollar Tree DIYs, especially Farmhouse. I also love doing thrift flips. I host a thrift flip challenge every month with Shayna from Robinson Repurposing. Also, follow me over on Instagram at SavvyCraftsWithSavannah. That's where I feel like I can be a little bit more personal with you guys. If you don't have an Instagram, you can always email me. Also, liking, sharing, and commenting on my videos really does help my channel out, and it means so much to me. I would not be here without you guys, and I don't know. I can't thank you guys enough. All right, let's get back into crafting. All right, for our last DIY, this one's pretty simple because the first two were kind of, you know, long. These are just some cake trays, cupcake trays, whatever you want to call it. And I'm taking my heat gun and I'm going to remove the stickers from both of these trays. Then we're going to hot glue them together, kind of bottom to bottom. I was going to put little farmhouse beads in the middle of it, but I just didn't like the way it looked, so I just decided to glue the bottoms together, and I do like the way that this turned out a lot better than what I was like gonna work with. So then I'm just taking my ivory Waverly chalk paint, and even though this is already white, I kind of wanted to add, I don't know, some of, because ivory is almost like a cream color, so I wanted to add some tan to this white so it wasn't so white and it looked like an old tray that your grandma's had for 17 years and she's passing it down to you. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm just dry brushing all on the sides just to get it how I want, and then I am, yeah, just continuing to dry brush. Then we're going to go in with our antique Waverly wax and a chip brush and just kind of do that same technique. And this is where it really starts coming together and looking really cool and looking more like a old style farmhouse tray, you know, again, grandma's tray. And so I'm just taking it and just dry brushing all on the sides, just like I did with the cream colored. Then I'm taking some of these half beads. Again, I will leave the link to those in my description box. And I am going to hot glue these. So I put them every 3 scallop, if that makes sense. So if you're looking at the tray, I laid 1 and then I counted 3 and then hot glued another one. Pretty self-explanatory, but I felt like this just added a little bit more to the tray. Then I'm just going to go in with my chip brush and kind of distress the beads as well. That way they kind of blend in and they look a little bit, you know, worn down as well. And then I do end up going back in with some of the ivory and dry brushing back over it and going back and forth until I got it how I liked. And I love how this one turned out as well, you guys. I got to pat myself on the back for today's video because I love everything in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you made it all the way to the end, leave a black emoji. Don't forget to check out the other girls in my description box. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.